Pushing political agendas in the wake of a terrorist attack. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. We've got 6 Canadians killed in cold blood, and some people can't wait but to rush and push a political agenda. We're lectured regularly by media stalwarts of the mainstream variety not to jump to conclusions after terrorist attacks, not to smear all people of a certain faith or race. And I've covered enough shootings, terrorist attacks, and the like to know this is true. You've got to wait. Breaking news is fluid. What you hear one minute can change the next. But now, the people that often lecture us to wait, not to smear, are doing that themselves. Whether in the race to claim without evidence that Alexandre Bissonnette was obviously a far-right anti-immigrant bigot, all because he liked Donald Trump on Facebook, or the columns and tweets like this from CBC. Check out this astounding tweet from the account belonging to CBC's The National, the main news broadcast of the government-funded state broadcaster. Opinion. Inconvenient truth is that white Christian men are Canada's mass shooters. Now that tweet links to a column by CBC reporter turned columnist Neil MacDonald. I'll admit MacDonald is a contrarian who's done some good work over the years, but is too often obsessed with smearing Israel or Republicans. And now he has a column that says Christians are the problem, they do the mass shootings. Just about every single one in our modern history has been a Canadian-born, Canadian citizen, and usually white and Christian, meaning extreme vetting of immigrants from places like Yemen and Iraq wouldn't have done a thing to prevent their predations. Now, can you imagine CBC allowing a column like that about Muslims convicted of terrorism, and then the CBC's The National tweeting it out? I can't. MacDonald goes back to 1975 and the horrific mass shooting at Pius X, an Ottawa Catholic high school in the capital's West End. He also points to Michael Slobodian in Brampton carrying out a school shooting that same year. Also on his list, Marc Lépine. Now, he was born to an Algerian Muslim father, a French Quebecois Catholic mother. Lépine was baptized Catholic as an infant, but he was never raised in the faith and was an avowed atheist at the time of the shooting. But I guess he walked by a church once or twice in Montreal, so he's a Christian for MacDonald's purposes. He includes Denis Lortie's shooting in Quebec's National Assembly in 1984, which was politically motivated over the PQ's policies, and also Lortie's own mental health issues, which according to reports at the time and court records, he attributed to physical and sexual abuse his father had inflicted over many years. No mention of religion in that shooting, no religious motivations claimed or implied. MacDonald simply sees a Quebecer, decides they've got to be Catholic, whether they ever practice the faith or not. He also includes, strangely given his premise, the Dawson College shooter, Kim Vergil. Bill Gill was born in Canada to an immigrant Sikh family, neither white nor Christian. In fact, the only one with a solid connection to Christianity, Justin Bourque, the Moncton shooter, one of 7 kids in a Christian family that homeschooled. Did Bourque carry out his shooting proclaiming he was a Christian soldier? No, in fact, the 24-year-old was described as having a problem with his authority, everything from government to his parents. He raged against the Harper government being too soft, decided to target police, he said, because he believed they protected the government. I don't know if Alexandre Bissonnette describes himself as a Christian, has ever been religious. I have no idea of his religious beliefs, nor any of the other shooters that MacDonald lumped in to declare that white Christian men are the problem. I could surmise that Bissonnette might be Catholic because his Facebook page shows him liking a page about the late Pope John Paul II, but he also liked the pages of super atheists Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens. I'll deal more with the bizarre Facebook page arguments in a moment, but let me finish up with MacDonald. Would he ever publish a column arguing that brown Muslim men from immigrant families are the terrorist threat that Canada faces? I mean, if you look at the record, you could make that argument. From Omar Khadr and his father Ahmed to the Millennium Bomber Ahmed Rassam, Momin Khawaja, Musa bin Ahmed, Chehab Essager, Rahed Jasser, many of the Toronto 18 as well. But with more than 1 million Muslims in Canada and only a handful convicted, well, that would be wrong. Yet MacDonald does that with white Christian men? It's like he and the CBC have no shame. As for the rest of the media using a Facebook page and its likes to say Bissonnette is a far right-wing, anti-immigrant, inspired terrorist, that's all about agenda pushing, not, at this point, supported by facts. If you look at his Facebook page, it's true he liked Donald Trump and Marie Le Pen. But he also liked the NDP, Jack Layton, and 3 different pages of the Parti Québécois. If people wanted to say there was a nationalist tinge to his political likes, that would be one thing. But to say far right, I'm not sure that holds, nor would it be true to say he's obviously far left. But he apparently made anti-immigrant comments, so therefore he's far right. Correct? Well, do I need to remind everyone about the Parti Québécois' stance on immigrants?
C'est vrai qu'on a été battu au fond par quoi? Par l'argent puis des votes ethniques, essentiellement.
Or we could point to them running in the last election on the Charter of Values. As Canadian history shows, being anti-immigrant doesn't make you right-wing. Otherwise, Liberal Prime Minister Wilfrid Laurier, who worked hard to keep black farmers from settling the prairies and who only let Eastern Europeans in reluctantly, would be considered a right-winger. So would Liberal Prime Minister William Lyon Mackenzie King, who banned Chinese immigration outright and turned away a boatload of Jews fleeing Hitler's Germany with a dismissive none is too many stance. As I've demonstrated before, Canadian history is full of racist Liberal government action towards immigrants. Anti-immigrant sentiment, unfortunately, can be found anywhere. This jump to claim far right with no proof and just assumptions, that's as baseless as Neil MacDonald's column. I think it's time to remember 6 families were torn apart this week. That's what we should be thinking about, not laying on top our own political veneer on the latest terrorist attack. If you like this video, make sure you click subscribe and never miss another Rebel video again.